Alrighty, guys, Rex here. Today we're going to talk about the fifth commandment. Okay, now the first four we went through are basically, those four are having to do with our interaction with the Father in heaven and maintaining the proper operating system, where basically commandment number one, he says, hey man, like I brought you out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You ain't going to have no other gods before me in my face or nothing. Second commandment is saying, hey, don't be inventing your own religion. Don't be inventing your own little symbols and icons and stuff like this. You're going to mess up the operating system, which I'm about to download onto you guys. I'll explain how it works. You guys just listen. Don't make stuff up. So that's the second commandment. Third commandment, he says, if you guys walk around carrying around my name, you better do it seriously. Because if you just use my name in vain, saying, oh, look at me, I'm with, this particular God, and you misrepresent him, he doesn't hold you blameless for that. Very, very serious. And the fourth commandment, he actually commands us once a week to reestablish communications, to resynchronize with him in a rest day where we chill and we think about all the great things he did, and we remember that he sanctified the day because he built the universe in 6 days and then rested on the seventh day and kept it holy. And so it's a commemoration of his authority over the entire universe as the guy that made everything, okay? And we can talk about those details later if you guys want to get into science stuff, okay? Don't take my words out of context on that before you know what the conversation even is, okay? This is the next commandment, and really, before we get into that, those four first commandments in the Ten Commandments, you can be summarized into one great commandment, the first most greatest commandment there is. It was reiterated by another teacher later, which was very, very, very good at crystallizing concepts into like a very simple point. The great commandment is love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your mind, and all your strength. And those first four commandments are how you actually do that, okay? You don't have other gods in front of him. You remember that you remember who he is, how he saved you from bondage and slavery, right? And you're not going to do all that stuff that would bring other gods around. Like, you are committed to him, and you're not going to commit spiritual adultery with other forces against him, okay? And you're going to remember him, and you're going to appreciate and respect him for the position of authority that he has as the creator of the universe. So that's how you accomplish the great commandment. It's not just a frivolous deal where you say, oh yeah, you bet, I love God above everything. Really? Well, you got to look into the details, and it's good to have these instructions so that we can keep ourselves in check, okay? Are we going to always execute and accomplish that? No, we're humans. We're gonna mess up. But that is the center of the target that we're trying to aim at if we're trying to get as close as possible to him out of love for him, trying to understand his character and trying to just get closer and closer and closer to him. Those are his instructions of what he wills us to do, okay? So that's the attitude of it, okay? It's not like he's hitting you the rule book in a stick. And there are consequences, obviously, for disobedience, which means you do not have a relationship with the Father of the universe, who has all power to protect you through whatever. If you want to refuse that relationship, we all have that right to do it, but then don't come crying to him when stuff doesn't go our way and we try to do ourselves and we mess it up, right? It's like having the ultimate auto mechanic and your car breaks down and you refuse to go to him for any help. You know what I mean? Don't be crying about it because you broke it yourself. It goes way beyond that. So this is the fifth commandment. This is the first one, like I said, that has to do with human interaction. This is actually placed above. A lot of people think the most important commandment is thou shalt not murder, which is important. But this commandment actually comes in priority even over that, okay? Murdering people is a bad deal. Nobody should do it. But this one is actually taking priority over that. And it reads as follows. This is the fifth commandment. The first one having to do with any human interaction whatsoever. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. That's it. That's what it says. Honor thy mother and father. Now, does it say, let's say you got what if my dad tells me something crazy, or what if my parents are like a bunch of druggies or whatever? It doesn't say you have to do everything they say to do, or you have to follow their example. It says to honor them. That means, like, here's the deal. However crappy your parents were in your brain, like a lot of people have an attitude problem, like they think, oh yeah, they always complain about their folks. They kept you alive when you were squirming around, not able to find food, not able to find your butt, poop in your pants. And like they found resources, they gave you shelter, and they dedicated a huge portion of their lives readjusting everything so that just to keep you alive, even if that's all they did. They did a damn good job, and they didn't choose to kill you either. I mean, nowadays it's legal to kill them before they come out, right? And so that's a deal that's like really important. You gotta think about that. They loved you enough to keep you alive through all the 9 months, and then go through the process of birthing you, which is incredibly heavy duty, and then bring you up and keep you alive. And then for parents that actually did a good job, they taught you everything. You learned how to talk, walk, squawk, all that business. And then if you had a really good set of parents, they taught you about life. They disciplined you, hopefully. If you have really good parents, those are all blessings, right? And here's why we have to honor them. If we show honor to our parents who kept us alive, especially like in the later days when they start to get old and tired, right? And we still honor them. Doesn't matter how senile and crazy they might get, right? Everyone always gets bent out of shape. Like, oh man, it's such a hassle. It is. And it can be. And I understand people, like my folks are both operating pretty darn good so far. I'm very blessed. And eventually, though, they're going to get old and tired and need some help, right? If we honor our mother and father, our children will see us honoring them, and they will do the same thing to us when we get old and crazy, okay? That's the second part of the commandment. It says right here, this is pure wisdom, man. Honor thy mother and father, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord God giveth thee. And it's not just talking days of just like, like staying alive in a hospital as a vegetable, pooping yourself or something, but like your good days. Like your children will be around to take care of you. You're not going to just be thrown in the garbage can or disregarded or just swept under the rug. And that's a very common thing in Western cultures, just to kind of get rid of them old people, kind of like a hassle, just get rid of them. But like if you honor them, even if you have to have like maybe a nursing home taking care of them or whatever, just to keep them alive and keep them healthy because we're not medically qualified. Even if that's the case, like if you honor them, you're still going to continuously keep in contact with them, visit with them, call them, visit, bring the grandkids over, whatever it is you got to do. Honor them, show them honor, because your kids will do the exact same thing to you they saw you do to your parents, to their grandma and grandpa, okay? And so you can either pass on a tradition of going, yeah, they're old and crazy, hell with them. Just like we're moving over here, they're nuts. Well, that's what they're going to do to us. It's like normal, like it's obvious that that's going to happen, right? Monkey see, monkey do. I mean, we're programming our children the whole time on how they should behave, and they're watching our actions more than our words, okay? So honoring your mother and father just means giving them that respect. Now, are we going to disagree with them on certain issues at certain times? Of course. Like that's a normal thing, right? We're going to have disagreements and whatever, but always honor them. They do outrank us, okay? And so if you have a disagreement with your commanding officer, or whatever, like respectfully try to articulate that. And if at a certain point you become an adult, you kind of have to take control of your family. And if they do something that's against the general orders, which is what he said to do, well, then we follow the actual highest ranking authority, right? But what I'm saying is like within the confines of human relationships and within the liberties we've been given in between the laws, right? We always obey God's law first, okay? But God's law is to honor them. That's a tough one to keep for some folks. I was very blessed with very good parents. Some folks might not have, parents even, and so that becomes a tough deal. But whoever it is that raised you, honor them, okay? That's the heart of the law there.